our lineup on this Wednesday. A new crackdown on people bringing fake service and emotional support animals on planes. We're going to look into the changes the government wants to make. And a growing number of firefighters are struggling with severe mental health issues. So we're going to go inside the effort to support first responders. And more cities are ending the policy of asking questions about criminal history when someone applies for housing. The opportunities this could open and the safety concerns that come with it as well.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Amanda Starantino, and you're watching the Now Indy. School districts won't have to place an "In God We Trust" sign in every classroom in Indiana after some changes were made to a Senate proposal today. The bill was amended today to change the language to make it optional for the school corporations to put up the posters instead of mandatory. Also, if a school does put up these signs, they must raise the funds on their own. They cannot use public money. Bloomington Democrat Mark Stoops cited a separation of church and state with his vote.
The Declaration of Independence noted that the power of the government is derived not from God, but from the people. So I think it's important to understand what the Founding Fathers actually believed when they had the clause that there must be a separation of church and state. And I've made the point as well that this also protects religion from interference by government in their beliefs. Anyway, I appreciate the time, Chairman, and my vote is no.
The change bill will now head to the full Senate. College hunting season is underway with students and parents making some very important decisions about the future. College is expensive, even at a state school, so wouldn't it be great to grab a scholarship to cut down on those soaring costs? Consumer reporter John Matarese shows how to find extra cash for college that many families don't know about, so you don't waste your money.
Spring is college decision time for high school seniors and the start of college application time for juniors. But before you narrow down prospective schools, you might want to know how to find hidden college scholarships. Finding money for college is not easy. Allison Lennox works to pay her way.
I work pretty much full-time to help pay for college.
Sarah Longmire's friends struggle to find tuition money.
It makes it harder for college students to go through their education because of that.
Charlotte Faulkner doesn't want her daughter to worry about money next year, so she's on a scholarship hunt.
We have applied for probably at least 20 scholarships. She thinks I'm crazy, but you know, that's the way it goes.
Charlotte's found sites that list hundreds of hidden grants and scholarships.
There was one, it was CAPEX, CAPPEX.com. Scholarship Owl was another website.
Others are fastweb.com and scholarships.com. And if you're old school,
Bought the book, the Ultimate Scholarship Book for 2020.
Charlotte at first thought her daughter would be covered if she filled out the FAFSA form for federal student aid. But she quickly learned there are a lot of other grants and programs out there that are not included in the FAFSA. If you search, you'll find grants or scholarships for every interest.
Equestrian riders, aquatics. There's a scholarship out there for if you want to do beetle bug research.
Don't like bugs? Other sources of aid include your church, the parents' employers, the Chamber of Commerce, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. But Charlotte has one caution.
Because as soon as it said, enter your credit card, I said, delete, we don't need you.
Great advice. Your hunt for scholarships should not cost you anything, just time and effort, so you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
Well, we've had a pretty nice day today. Just a little bit of cloud coverage building in right now, but still a little peak of sunshine there. We are going to see more clouds as we head overnight and into tomorrow. Right now, it's 34 degrees in Indianapolis, 32 in Kokomo, and 36 in Bloomington. Still a little bit of clear skies to the south and north of us, but that's going to change in the next few hours or so. We are starting to build in those clouds from the west. We have this system just off to our west, this low pressure system building. That's going to continue to build in those clouds overnight tonight, and then by tomorrow evening, that's when we are going to see some precipitation moving in with that system. So starting tomorrow, not going to start as cold as what we saw today. Temperatures will be into the upper 20s and low 30s. Those clouds will stick with us throughout your Thursday, and then we are going to see some rain coming in, quite a bit more rain in the forecast as we head through the next 7 days. I'll have those details in just a few minutes.
The World Health Organization is holding off until at least tomorrow on making a decision on if the coronavirus that started in China should be designated an international public health emergency. Today, the town where it began has been quarantined, with travel in and out being shut down. 11 million people live there. Now, the virus has spread to nearby countries and the United States.
I would say, first of all, the average person need not be concerned. We expected and importation, and we'll see some more because the world is a very, very small place.
Now, at least 17 people have died related to the virus. The first U.S. case was detected in Washington state. That person recently had visited China. The CDC has screeners right now at 5 major airports, and many hospitals are on alert. But experts say only people who feel sick, who have traveled to China recently, or have come in contact with anyone who traveled to China should be concerned.
The big question is, how readily is this new virus, once it gets into a person, transmitted among other people from person to person?
Dr. Schaffner says that we have learned from past viruses like SARS and MERS that are in the same family.
We're learning better how to identify them. The science that we can apply and was applied by the Chinese virologists was brilliant. They identified this new virus, sequenced its genome. Now people are working on rapid diagnostic tests, and we've even started working on a vaccine.
So far, the virus appears less dangerous and infectious than SARS. Let's start the Now news feed. Certain Iranian investors and business people are not being allowed in the United States. The Trump administration is barring them from getting visas that are used for foreign business. That ban goes into effect tomorrow. The U.S. military acknowledging today that an additional service member has been flown to Germany for observation after the Iranian attack on a U.S. base nearly 2 weeks ago in Iraq. 11 service members are already going under further observation for concussion-like symptoms. Well, can tax dollars pay for religious institutions? The Supreme Court is hearing that case today. All of this is over a Montana tax credit program that's aimed to help private religious schools. Next in our lineup, a new crackdown could be coming on people bringing fake service and emotional support animals on planes. We're looking into the changes the government wants to make.
Out of my life. Call Clear Choice today.
Coffee giant Starbucks continues the campaign on diversity and inclusion by bringing their Black Panther network here to Indianapolis. The network kicked off this week in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Starbucks Regional Director Deshaun Jackson says it's a part of a constant effort to include all customers who come through Starbucks doors.
Yeah, we have a Black Party network that is across all of our states, but we kicked off the local chapter here in Indiana today. But we have so many different networks, in our organization. We have the Pride Network, we have the Women's Network, we have the AFN Network for any of our military partners. So there's just many different opportunities for all of our partners to participate. So this is just one of many of the networks.
In 2018, the company revitalized their diversity and inclusion efforts after a racial profiling incident took place in a Philadelphia store.
Let's start the Now news feed with a viral challenge on the app TikTok that is causing some trouble. People plug in part of a phone charger, then they slide a penny down the wall onto the exposed prongs. Authorities are concerned that this could cause fires. New Jersey, now the first state to guarantee severance pay for people who are part of mass layoffs. The new law says that companies must give a week's worth of pay for each year of service to workers part of layoffs of 50 people or more. Sesame Street, helping children in the Middle East. The show's studio now producing an Arabic television program to help children who have been displaced by violence in Iraq, Syria, Jordan, and Lebanon. Elmo, Cookie Monster, and Grover all taking part in this. Well, big news from the feds today on what type of animals can fly in the passenger cabin of airplanes. Jace Larson's been investigating this, and he's here with the latest developments.
So many of us have seen the crazy videos, sometimes large dogs, even multiple dogs. How about a peacock on board the plane? We've also heard the stories of aggressive emotional support dogs that go after people and sometimes pets who are in carriers. Well, today the U.S. Department of Transportation is proposing some new rules that could drastically change who airlines are required to let fly. The DOT is suggesting that airlines no longer be required to let emotional support animals fly uncaged. Airlines could treat them as a pet instead, allowing smaller animals in carriers and requiring larger animals to fly in the luggage compartment. And when it comes to service animals, the feds are proposing that only service dogs be allowed. Currently, miniature horses are also allowed because they can help people with stability issues. Customers would also have to sign forms promising that their service dog is safe and legit, and if that person lies, it would be a federal offense. Now, the public still gets to weigh in on this proposal, and it could be changed, but this is a big step to tackle what many people consider a growing problem on airplanes.
Chase, absolutely. Thank you. Now, next in our lineup here on the Now, there is a growing number of firefighters struggling with severe mental health issues. We're going inside the effort to support first responders.
Clearance ever at all 9 Ed Martin locations.
Counterfeit products can be hard to spot online, and now the U.S. and China are pledging to start taking action against them being sold as part of a new trade agreement. Mallory Sofaste is looking at just how big a problem this is.
A state-of-the-art kitchen helper.
A 2-tier over-the-sink dish rack.
That organizes utensils and frees up counter space.
It was metal.
And Nikos Raudzunis thought it'd make the perfect Christmas gift for his mom.
Maybe a week or two before Christmas, this is what showed up.
A manila envelope from China weighing less than a pound.
I honestly thought, like, there's no way this is what I actually ordered, and it must be information about what I ordered.
He opened it up and knew right away.
I knew I'd gotten taken.
Instead of the stainless steel rack that supports 80 pounds of dishes and utensils and measures 34 inches by 20, he got this.
Ta-da!
3 plastic bins, 10 inches wide and just 14 inches tall.
Not at all what I had ordered.
Nico said he was aggravated, disappointed, but he paid a fraction of the 100+ retail price.
Seeing something that was discounted that much was like, hey, why not? It's only $17. If it does end up being a scam, well, I'm only out $17.
Plus shipping, he's out $30. Not a huge loss until you add it all up. Dozens of people claim they also bought the dish rack after seeing the ad on Facebook or Instagram and were sent colored plastic bins.
Yeah, I'm done with buying stuff through like Facebook and social media websites.
A quick search shows the real dish rack was sold at Home Depot, not the Chinese website called A-Sloat. We've heard it over and over again.
I was kind of surprised because it was a toy that was geared for 3-year-olds up.
I bought something online and got something completely different.
The supplement that I purchased was not authentic, and that they didn't know what it was.
Mallory, thank you. Now, the new China-U.S. trade deal requires China to come up with procedures to take down websites that sell pirated products. China also has to make it so sites can lose their licenses for repeatedly failing to stop counterfeit products from being sold. Now, you can avoid buying counterfeit stuff by researching the website, looking for spelling or grammar errors, and searching the business address.
Girl Scout cookies are here. Truckloads of cookies are rolling into central Indiana this week for Scouts to pick up, deliver to customers, or be sold at cookie booths. More than 2 million packages are being delivered to the Girl Scouts of central Indiana. If you pre-ordered, you'll be getting them soon, starting in mid-February. You can also buy them at cookie booths in front of grocery stores and other retailers. Debit and credit cards will be accepted at most booth sale locations.
No longer can you say, I don't have cash, I'm really sorry. You know, when our Girl Scouts approach our customers, we're really grateful that the community supports them so well and they purchase all these cookies.
And in case you are wondering, Thin Mints are their #1 seller, followed by Samoas and Tagalongs. We'll see if the new cookie Lemon Ups can break into the top 3. I definitely pre-ordered all of those cookies, Alyssa, and I got my text that they're in. So much for my New Year's resolutions.
I know who I'm coming to for a snack as soon as those are in as well. We are seeing a little bit of cloud coverage over the city right now. Taking a look from our IMS Pagoda cam as we head through the evening, we'll continue to build in that cloud coverage. We are going to start dry on Thursday, and then we do have some changes coming in. Rain moving in late Thursday night. The potential of snow mixing in with that system as well. Right now, it's 34 degrees in Indianapolis. Those winds fairly light out of the southeast, about 10 miles per hour. So those light winds out of the south are helping usher in some warmer air. So overnight tonight, it's not going to be as cold as it was last night. We have this low pressure system just off to our west. That's starting to build into central Indiana, starting with the form of just some clouds. And those cloudy skies will stick with us for the first half of tomorrow before we start to see that precipitation moving in. We'll start to see just some slight potential of some light snow showers for some northwest counties tomorrow morning, but most of us won't see that activity until tomorrow evening and overnight. That's when we'll start to see some rain, possibly some snow mixing in there as well, but most of us are going to see rain before we switch to maybe just a rain-snow mix overnight Thursday and into Saturday. That rain sticks with us on Saturday, and then we do dry out by Sunday. Temperatures will be into the upper 30s over the weekend.
Let's start the news feed. A new study is looking at the long-term impact of foster care. Study found that those who have been in the system are far more likely than other adults to not have a college degree, health insurance, or stable health provider. This study also found that less than 5% of men who have been in foster care have a bachelor's degree. Less people are taking their children to pediatricians. The study out of the University of Pittsburgh believing that there are now several avenues for childcare, which may be why people are turning to those instead of going to a pediatrician. The study also pointing to the rising out-of-pocket costs of going to a traditional children's doctor. Well, you're running out of time to be compensated for the 2017 Equifax breach because that deadline to receive reimbursement is today. More than 145 million Americans were impacted. We're seeing more breeds of dogs going into service work. And you look at this right here. This dog posing with police in Washington State, really not on the job, but he was rescued recently from the streets and he was found to have inoperable cancer. Now, his foster mom decided to create a bucket list, and becoming a police canine was on it, got a custom-made uniform, and went on police calls. When you think of a firefighter, the words fearless, heroic, selfless may come to mind. Running into burning buildings, it's part of the job description. But Usher Qureshi is taking a look at what happens when those expected to save need saving themselves.
I love the idea of being there for people when we're a last resort. People call 911 when they don't know where else to turn.
Setting fear aside, like so many firefighters, Ian McQueen says being focused in the face of danger for the sake of others is just part of the job. But for hundreds of first responders, under the surface, it's taking a toll.
There's that duck analogy of, you look just real calm floating on the surface, but underwater, your feet are just kicking and you're moving fast and a lot of stuff's happening.
What's happening is that firefighters are taking their own lives at an alarming rate. 2019 was the 6th year in a row that more firefighters committed suicide than were killed in the line of duty.
We're losing a lot of our brothers and sisters to things that we just don't deal with in the fire service.
It's why retired Fire Protection Captain Jeff Dill founded the Firefighter Behavioral Health Alliance in 2011. His goal, educating first responders around the country to recognize the signs of depression, PTSD, anxiety, and suicide before it's too late.
We don't know what's happening. We don't know how to deal with it, and yet we don't want to tell anyone because we don't want them to mock us out or think that we're weak or we can't do the job.
That job, more often than not, involves witnessing and dealing with unspeakable loss, tragedy, and trauma, leaving many firefighters feeling like they have nowhere to turn.
How do you talk to your wife about that? Because you don't want her with those same images that you had, and along those same lines, you don't want her thinking about the blood-curdling scream of that baby's mom when we tell her that, I'm sorry, there's nothing else we can do.
Bringing awareness, says Dill, encourages other struggling firefighters to seek help themselves.
The reality is, we're not immune to it, so we see it, and when it comes in the form of suicide, that's just, it's hard to understand, and then it's therefore hard to talk about.
For Ian McQueen, diagnosed with PTSD in 2014, unrelated to his fire service, taking the course, he says, makes a real difference.
If we make it a place that someone really is totally safe and supported to come forward and say, hey, I'm hurting, then I think we're setting guys up for success.
I'm Usher Qureshi reporting.
Usher, thank you. And Jeff Dill says the problem is likely much worse than we understand. He says that underreporting means the statistics they have represent only about 55 to 60% of all firefighter suicides. Now, if you or someone you know needs help, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The number right here on your screen, 1-800-273-8255. All right, finally in our lineup today here on the Now, a lot of states and cities have stopped asking questions about someone's criminal history on their job application. Now this effort is coming to more areas for rentals. The opportunities this could open, as well as the safety concerns.